There is a sin so common, so automatic, that most Christians don't even recognize it as sin anymore. You probably committed it this morning, maybe before you even got out of bed. It doesn't look like rebellion. It doesn't feel like disobedience. In fact, it feels completely harmless, sometimes even righteous. But God calls it sin. The Bible warns about it directly, and it is quietly destroying your prayer life, your peace, and your closeness with God, one moment at a time. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what it is, why it's spiritually dangerous, and how to break free from it starting today. Most Christians spend years fighting the obvious sins: lying, lust, pride. But there's a category of sin that never makes it into sermons. It's not dramatic. It's not shameful in the way people expect sin to be. It hides inside your thoughts, inside your conversations, inside the way you see your own life. And here's what makes it so dangerous. The more spiritual you become, the better you get at justifying it. You've probably heard it called a bad habit or a personality trait. But God has a different name for it. The sin is this: speaking death over your own life. Negative confession, faithless words, the constant automatic declaration that things are hopeless, that you're not enough, that nothing will ever change. I'm so stressed, I can't take this anymore. I'll never get out of this situation. God never seems to come through for me. These aren't just frustrations. They are declarations. And Proverbs 18:21 says this plainly: the tongue has the power of life and death. Not some power, the power of life and death. Every time you speak defeat over yourself, you are exercising spiritual authority in the wrong direction. Most people treat negative self-talk as a mental health issue. And yes, it affects your mind. But before it's psychological, it's spiritual. When you say God will never fix this, you are not just being pessimistic. You are calling God a liar. Because his word says he works all things together for good, Romans 8:28. When you say, I'm beyond help, you are contradicting the God who said he began a good work in you and will complete it, Philippians 1:6. This is not motivation speak. This is theology. Every faithless word you speak is a small act of unbelief. And unbelief is one of the most consistent warnings in all of Scripture. Jesus marveled at it. He was grieved by it. He directly connected it to spiritual powerlessness. In Matthew 13:58, it says he did not do many miracles in one place because of their unbelief. You are not just speaking words. You are setting spiritual limits. Here's why this sin is so dangerous. It feels like honesty. When you say, I'm exhausted and nothing is working, that might be factually true in the moment. But there's a difference between acknowledging reality to God in prayer and declaring defeat as your permanent identity. David didn't deny his pain. He poured it out to God. Then he chose to speak faith over his situation. Psalm 42:11. Why, my soul, are you downcast? Put your hope in God. He was talking to himself, correcting himself, redirecting himself. That's what mature faith looks like. Not denying pain, not pretending everything is fine, but refusing to let your feelings write the final sentence of your story. The enemy knows that if he can control what you say about your life, he can shape what you believe about your life. And what you believe determines how you live. Research shows the average person has between 6,000 and 70,000 thoughts per day. And for many Christians, the majority of those thoughts, especially about themselves, are negative, doubtful, and faithless. I can't do this. This always happens to me. I'm too broken for God to use. Why bother praying? Nothing changes. 100 times, every single day. Not in one dramatic moment of unbelief, but in a slow, steady drip of faithless confession that slowly erodes your spiritual foundation. James 3:5 says, "The tongue is a small part of the body, but it makes great boasts. Consider what a great forest is set on fire by a small spark." Your words are sparks, and over time, what you consistently say sets the entire atmosphere of your spiritual life on fire, for good or for destruction.
The silent sin isn't always dramatic. It won't always feel like rebellion. But every faithless word is a small stone thrown against the window of your own future. God gave you a tongue with the power of life and death. Use it for life, starting today. If this message convicted you, don't scroll past this quietly. Share it with someone who needs to hear it.